pleasant day, everyone. This is Sumaña, and I am going to discuss about the topic paraphrastic approach. Have any of you heard about this approach, or is it familiar? As we dive deeper into this topic, let's have first the meaning of the paraphrastic approach. So what is paraphrastic approach? Paraphrastic approach is primary paraphrasing and rewording the text to simpler language or use other languages to translate it. That doesn't mean when we say rewording, it is changing the complex words into another simpler version of the word so that the student could understand what does it mean. So translating into the other language is like when the text is in English version and the student finds it difficult to understand. Then the teacher itself will translate it into another language. It can be the first language of the country or the region for the student to understand the literary text. So second, we have paraphrastic approach according to Huang and MB 2007. This approach deals with the surface of the text. So what does it mean when we say the surface of the text? It only means that we are going to deal with the words integrated into that literary text, and we are not going to interfere with the meaning of the text. We are just changing the words. We are just reporting it. We are just translating it, but we are not going to change the meaning of the text. Understood? So it also known as translation approach because teachers retold stories according to rewording. Just what I have mentioned earlier is paraphrastic approach is translating it into another language is one way for the teacher to the student so that they understand the text. Next, we have Rosley 1995 said he asserts that it allows teachers to use simpler words and sentence structures compared to more complicated ones in text. Sometimes the teachers translate it into another language, so this paraphrastic approach is another way of teaching strategic in literature so that the teacher can understand and comprehend the text fully. So we can't deny that there are hard phrases. There are difficult words included in literary text because literature is another way of defining the culture of the country. So there are so many difficult words incorporated in that text. So that's why translating it into another language is one way for the student to comprehend the literary text itself. So teachers use simple or less complex sentence structure to make the original text easy to understand, so that according to Divsar 2014. So I have here some example of a paraphrastic approach to some literary texts. So we have example number 1. So as you can see, there is an original text presented here, and there is also a paraphrased form presented on the slide as well. So the original text state that a black unmarked van had skidded to a stop in the street below. Out of the van flowed a team of men, all dressed in black uniforms with circular green medallions on their left shoulders. They gripped automatic rifles and moved with fierce military efficiency. So let's also read the paraphrased form. A black, unmarked van took a sudden drift on the street below. From the van came a team of men, dressed in black uniforms and circular green medallions on their left shoulders. They took automatic rifles and moved with aggressive military efficiency. So, as you can see, there's an original text and a paraphrased form. So, as what I have read and what you have read also, um, what have you noticed between the two? As you can see, I have changed some of the difficult words from the original text and I changed it into another simpler version of that word. For paraphrasing words, we can also look some synonyms of that word in order for us to have a simpler version of that word or phrase. So we are going to the example number 2. So the example number 2, we also have the original text and the paraphrased form of the original text. So the original text states, the sudden arrival of the Black Death, while horrific, had effectively thinned an human herd, creating an abundance of food and opportunity, which, according to many historians, had been a primary catalyst for bringing about the Renaissance. Let's have the paraphrased form. The unexpected appearance of the Black Death, while it is scary, had effectively lessened the number of humans, making plenty of food and opportunity, which, according to many historians, became the birth of Renaissance. As you can see, there is also some difficult words in the slide. The examples that I gave to you are what we called rewording, which is included to the definition of the paraphrastic approach earlier. So next, some philosophers have believed that apparent reference to and quantification over non-existent possible could be eliminated by contextual definition. For example, paraphrased away from whole sentences in which they occur. Possible individuals and possible words would then be treated as façons de déferler from French, meaning way of speaking, manner of speech. Façons means the pronunciation of the phrase, and parler means speak. So before we leave the slide, I would like to leave some tips for paraphrasing text or literary text. So it does not mean that paraphrasing word or paraphrasing literary texts are about word by word. Changing synonyms, I mean changing complex word into the more simpler bit, is not the only way alone, but you can also have to remove some words or article from that paragraph or text and paraphrase the whole paragraph. Changing synonyms, I mean changing complex word into the more simpler bit, is not the only way alone, but you can also have to remove some words or articles from the paragraph or text and paraphrase the whole paragraph. And also, it can also, for us as a future educators, we can also translate it into another language for our student to understand our teaching as well. So, not only word by word, but as well as we can remove some words or articles that are included in the contextual definition, but not the meaning of it. So we are not going to interfere the meaning of the text. I have also some key terms to remember paraphrastic approach. So we have here surface menu of the text from Huang and MB 2007. So these are dealing with the words alone, we are not going to deal with the meaning of the text or literary text. So paraphrase, it can be rewording, changing the words into simple words or translating it into another language. So we also have reword, the story in simpler language. My examples presented are the examples of rewording literary text, so translating it into another language. So just like what I have mentioned from English version of the text, the teacher can also give her own example of the text out into another language, just like he or she can have Filipino, Bisaya, or Hiligaynon. It depends on him or her, um, on what example or what language she can use to translate the text. It's just a teaching method or strategic thing to do for the student to fully understand or comprehend the text. So we also have the beginners of target language. It is we are going to incorporate to them the language proficiency and have the skills of reading and paraphrasing literary text. Not just the students can enhance their vocabulary, but then teachers or educators as well. So that concludes my report for today. This is Sharmay Sumanya, and thank you so much for listening.